Hi, I'm Scott Ellis and welcome to The Guide Show. Joining me today is Amy Corduroy and we're looking at the show that Australia may not be ready for, Embarrassing Bodies Down Under.
Look, as a health reporter, I have always had a bit of a thing for gross medical images. I was actually a big fan of this show in the UK. It's come from the UK. And basically what it consists of is people who have a condition that they're too embarrassed to go to their normal doctor about, so they decide to go to the doctor on television and then get poked and prodded and basically embarrassed on national television, and we all get to see the gross things that are happening underneath people's clothes. It's very good. Let's take a look.
23-year-old Natasha sees only one thing, the most embarrassing part of her body.
And I'm very hard on myself. I just want to feel really happy again. I'm sick of feeling this way. It's really affected me.
Yeah, I always find this surreal that people say, you know, there's a woman in this first episode who says, look, I'm really embarrassed about taking my top off in public. You know, I would never take it off in front of, you know, a boy or whatever. So here I will do it on national television. And then the other guy who comes in there and it's like, I'm sorry, for 4 years you've had a condition that you've been self-treating by pushing chilies into your backside. This is the thing that there's doctors. You know, we live in a country that has a pretty good health service. So I'm really was stunned that they got something like 140 people lined up to go and show off their broken bits.
It's amazing. The thing that I thought was just, I mean, so disgusting, even for me, who's used to looking at some pretty disgusting things, was the guy with the sebaceous cysts on his testicles.
Yeah.
And they had the doctor actually squeezing the cysts.
Yeah.
And at the end of the session, he says, I hope I'm, going to finally go out on Saturday night and pick up.
It's like, no.
No, you are not.
No.
No one is
everyone's
going
just
near you.
seen your bits and they didn't look good.
They did not look good.
That doctor is a great example because the British doctors are kind of laid back a bit and they say, well, that's a condition that clearly we can treat. There is an ointment for that and I'll put it on and you'll be right in 36 minutes. The Australian doctor who, when this guy drops his pants, actually leaps backwards and says, holy heck, Batman, what is that? And the doctor with the guy with the chilies, he says, so you're describing this. Hang on, what? You did what? It's like they're not hardened to it yet, which is what I find good.
Yeah, I actually felt that gave it a slightly awkward feel to it. And I mean, it is a problem.
It's an awkward show.
Yeah, as a long-term viewer of the UK version, there have been moments like that in the show where I've felt a little bit sorry for the people who are on, and I think you have to be really careful with a show like this that you actually do treat people sensitively and make them feel kind of, I guess, proud for coming forward, sharing their embarrassing things so that other people don't have to and other people can know what's going on with their bodies.
Even the doctors say, look, there are some people, we give them a lot of counselling beforehand and we'll make sure that they're fine with what's going to be happening. And they also say that there have been some problems that, somebody has presented and they've looked at the symptoms and gone, actually, that one's kind of important. We're not going to put that on television. But the thing for me, and I know this is a horrible thing to admit, but for me, I watched it thinking, this is Sydney. I might see somebody I know. And I didn't, unfortunately, but I will be watching every episode just thinking, is that the guy that lives up the road for me? Wouldn't that be a wonderful moment?
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I didn't get on this episode was the people who didn't even have an illness and just volunteered to take part in another truly repulsive bit where everyone had taken a photo of their own stool sample and brought it in, and people were actually sort of putting up their hands and going, yep, that's me. And you just think, what were you thinking?
I find this unusual because the same week that you watched this preview, you had also seen live brain surgery, but this is what freaked you out.
Oh yeah, absolutely, way more. I mean, look, the brain surgery was fairly intense, but it's nothing on it.
It wasn't a plate full of poo.
It wasn't a plate full of poo arranged neatly on the dining room table. I mean, there's some things you can't go past.
And there's just some things you just don't want to miss. Well, that's Embarrassing Bodies Down Under on Lifestyle U. We'll see you next time.